We just got Brawl Talk. There is so much just awesome stuff I'm really excited to talk about. Even when I'm on vacation, we got to talk about Brawl Talk, okay? So we got two new brawlers, one of which is going to be the first ultra legendary rarity. We've got 8 new hypercharges, a massive like 4-part event, including like a manga or something like that. We got 2 new game modes, not including the brand new Brawl Stars MOBA. Like that's the game mode of all game modes. And then of course we got lots of awesome new skins. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Starting off with the 2 new brawlers, okay? So Kaze is a ninja that actually always wanted to be a geisha. She never had the chance to become one because of how her parents raised her. She's they raised her to be a lethal weapon. What kind of parents do that? I guess this is Star Park. Anyway, at some point in her life, she met Kenji, married him, then ran away to Star Park to start a sushi restaurant and live happily ever after. I don't think that exists in Star Park, but it's fine. Kaze is the very first ultra legendary brawler. We actually didn't hear very much about what an ultra legendary brawler is or what it would mean, other than that each of these ultra legendary brawlers have some sort of a unique trait or special ability. I imagine they're going to be a little bit more difficult for you to unlock than legendaries. I imagine that they will be unlockable still using like credits, but maybe like way more credits, maybe twice as much as a regular legendary. Real question that I have is whether or not you can actually unlock them from star drops and what the drop rate for that is. Because ultra legendary, I don't know. I have like more concerns than I have like excitement. Well, I don't know. I have a little bit of both. Anyway, let's talk about Kaze's very special trait that makes her really unique, because she does look like a lot of fun to play. She's super unique. The thing is that like while we have had a lot of different brawlers with different modes, with like different versions or whatever, Kaze takes 2 brawlers in one to a whole other level, okay? She has entirely separate builds for her geisha aspect or her ninja aspect, and you can swap between the 2 of them instantly during a match by using her gadget. Now the real question is what happens before she has a gadget, like before she's power 7, right? We don't know. We'll have to wait and find out. I will tell you guys in a future video, but let's cover her first, her geisha aspect, okay? In the geisha aspect, she has dashing attacks that look sort of like a combination between Shade's attacks and Kenji's, right? Because she dashes forward, but just like Shade does extra damage in one specific, like right in the center, she also has an area where she can deal extra damage as well. But it looks like the extra damage section actually changes direction. It's not always right in the middle. Like it's like her attack is a circular attack, but like 1/4 of that circle will actually be the extra one. I don't know what determines where it will be on the aiming reticle, because there's some footage where it's just like not pointing the direction that she's dashing. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, like sometimes left and right. I don't really know. But anyway, the geisha super pretty much looks like the opposite of Sandy's super. Sandy's super makes it so that everybody's invisible that are standing inside of it. Kaze's geisha super does is it makes it so that enemies that are inside of it cannot see outside of the circle. And honestly, it looks insanely strong to me, right? What's crazy about that though, obviously you're gonna want to try to escape the center because you can't see outside of it. But if they try to leave, those brawlers will actually take damage. We don't know how much or how or whatever, but they're gonna take damage, and so that's really rough. When Kaze is in her geisha form, her star powers include either slowing enemies that are hit by her main attack inside the strike point, that's the only time that they get slowed, or her second star power while she's in her geisha form is that enemies that are caught in her super will lose an ammo bar during that, or something like they lose ammo, which they both sound really strong. Now, activating her gadget is what switches her between her 2 aspects, but they also give her a very temporary buff depending on which aspect she is switching to and which gadget she has equipped. When she switches to her ninja aspect, her first gadget will give her increased movement speed, and then her second gadget will give her invisibility. Now, what these 2 gadgets do are different when she's swapping to her geisha aspect, but we'll get back to that in a little bit. Now, when she is a ninja, then her main attacks are 2 throwing knives, one after another, very similar to like Cordelius' main attack. And for her super, she dashes a long distance and marks all enemies in her path. After a couple of seconds, the marks will explode and deal damage to their targets. While Kaze is in her ninja form, her star powers will deal additional area damage around enemies that die when they are marked. So you don't want to stand too close to enemies that are marked. And her second ninja star power will increase the duration of the temporary buffs from her gadgets by 50%, okay? Now this star power only affects the gadgets buffs switching to the ninja aspect, not swapping to the geisha aspect, because then it's a different ability that does that. When Kaze switches back to her geisha aspect, her first gadget will recover 30% of her max health, and her second gadget will help dash her forward a little bit, which is helpful for a close range and brawler like her geisha form. But what's even crazier here is that she even has 2 hypercharges, okay? Kaze's geisha hypercharge will deal damage over time to enemies that are standing in the center of her super, and her ninja hypercharge will increase the dash speed of her super, and it will instantly kill brawlers whose health is low enough for the super to kill them. If you were confused about Kaze, don't worry, I don't blame you. We will be showing her all of her different abilities in the Kaze Olympics, so make sure you stick around for that. There's just a lot to learn about her, and watching Brawl Talk, honestly, like, I watched it a lot, and even I'm like, man, there's so much to consider when playing her. Now, the second brawler coming to the game is Jae-Yong. He is a bored average office worker by day, but a karaoke fiend by night. Now, the person he is at work and the person he is at karaoke are actually so different that he is kind of also 2 brawlers in one, right? He has a work mode and he has a party mode that he switches between throughout the match. Now, his main attack is a single piercing projectile that has different effects depending on which work mode he is in, or which mode he is in. In work mode, his attacks will deal damage to enemies as well as heal his teammates. In party mode, he will deal less damage, but it will increase the movement speed of himself and his teammates. Well, are we getting 2 brawlers here, or are we getting 4 brawlers in this update? Seriously, this is crazy. For his star powers, Jae-Young's star powers gives his teammates, in Brawl Talk, they said he gives a speed buff to his teammates, but then they had a little asterisk and said it's actually him that gets the speed buff. So we'll have to wait to know exactly how that looks and what that looks like. And he also has a supercharged ring around him. So I'm assuming that that's going to be the radius of all of these different abilities, right? So you can tell who's getting the buffs and whatnot. Maybe that's going to be how this works. We'll see. Now, his other star power is going to increase the damage of each of his projectiles after they have pierced through a target. We only see the damage increase after hitting 1 target, so I don't know if the damage is going to keep on going up for each target, or for each target that it hits, or if it jumps up just once, but we're going to find out in the Jae-Young Olympics. Now, his first gadget is going to deal damage to enemies inside an area around him, or radius around him, and it's also going to increase the damage of his main attacks. His second gadget is going to slow down enemies within that radius, and will also leave a trail behind his projectiles that will slow enemies as well. Think of kind of like a long spike super, but anyway, sorry. We just covered 4 brawlers, basically. That's basically what we did here. But in addition to those 4 brawlers, basically, we're getting 8 new hypercharges being added to the game, including Kaze's hypercharges. First up, we have Gus. Now, when Gus's shield is activated, a giant ring of ghosts will spring from it in an outward spiral that will deal damage to enemies and heal his teammates. It looks like the ghosts don't go through the targets, so each ghost is going to either hit a brawler or hurt a brawler. But anyway, this looks pretty strong and good. Lily's hypercharge basically turns her super into like a Cordelia's super, except that it will bounce it off of walls, kind of like one of Belle's gadgets. Now, Lily will still be teleported directly behind the target as usual, but this super is also going to send both her and the target to the Shadow Realm. Okay, Clancy's hypercharge does the exact same thing that Crow's hypercharge does. All the projectiles from his super now pierce through enemies, and then they all come back to Clancy, dealing damage on the way back. Could be incredibly strong, especially if he's all the way upgraded. Amber's hypercharge, oh my gosh, this is insane. It makes Amber's super about the same size as Sandy's super, which is just absurd. And on top of that, the super is going to continue to burn for 3 seconds after it is lit. This is definitely one of the strongest hypercharges out of this batch, and it's gonna make Amber I hate playing against Amber, guys. I mean, oh man, I used to say I don't hate brawlers, but anyway, it's getting to a point where there are some brawlers I just really don't like playing against, and this is going to be rough, but not as rough as Willow's hypercharge. Her hypercharge simply just prevents all damage that she takes whenever she is controlling an enemy brawler. She's going to be immune to damage. I don't think she's going to be immune to stuns or knockbacks or status effects, but I'll confirm that in a future video. Just think of that. Like, she will not be able to take damage. That's crazy. And finally, oh, I'm so excited. Griff has a hypercharge now. And it's good. I'm so excited here. Oh, except that I'm not, because he's going to be so strong that they're going to have to nerf him, and then I won't like playing him anymore, and that sucks. But anyway, Griff's hypercharge is now going to be able to go through walls, and each banknote will create a copy of itself once it has reached max range. The original banknotes will then return to Griff at a normal time, but the copies will return back after a delay. This is going to cause potential damage of just insane amounts, and I'm so excited. Very strong one. I don't think I'm biased here. It's pretty strong here. Kenji's hypercharge now has a radius around it that will slowly pull enemies towards the center of the attack while he's in the air. Kind of think of like Terra's super, right? Additionally, Kenji will reappear in the center of the X after the super is finished, instead of reappearing in the spot that he used it from. This is going to help his super deal way more damage. It's also going to be a really great source of mobility and could even be used for an escape. Okay, we are getting a 4-part event that is going to last over 4 weeks. That's right. This is the Battle of Katana Kingdom. And it kind of looks like it's a little bit of the best parts of all the previous events that we've ever had, but without it lasting like a whole month. It's like we're just doing it once every week. And anyway, I'll explain here. This looks like they're actually going to have some sort of like a manga that we'll be able to read. This is going to be a manga that you can read in each. We'll have 4 chapters that will be released over time. And with each chapter that gets released, we are getting rewards, okay? Things like double XP weekends, Mastery Madness, double star drops, and of course, sweet cosmetics like the Hypercharge Oni Kenji skin, which is just so cool looking. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. They're also going to have club events and daily contests. Once again, each week is going to be a new type of thing and way for you to be able to earn these rewards. The craziest part about this entire event, though, are definitely the wasabi powers. Apparently, Kenji has been serving some new wasabi recipe to some brawlers, and they're getting crazy powers, some hotter than others, right? They're essentially like extra star powers, or if you remember mutations from when we had the Godzilla event, it's going to be kind of like that. And these are just going to make brawlers ridiculously strong. There are going to be 20 hot powers, 15 extra hot powers, 15 crazy hot powers, and then 10 inferno powers, making 60 powers in total, and only certain brawlers can get them. I could be wrong. I think that the Inferno powers are going to be the strongest, and those are going to be the ones that you're going to want to unlock, but we'll have to see. The thing here is that the powers are going to only be playable on game modes and maps with the Wasabi modifier added to it. So if you remember Brawl Stars during mutations, it's going to be kind of similar. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be fun, and it's not going to be balanced. We're not doing this for balance. We're doing this for fun, right? Now, we only got to see a few sushi powers in Brawl Talk, but I will be covering all 60 of them in a future update sneak peek video, so make sure you do that. But they're going to basically be unlocked through the same way as like previous mutations, right? Instead of star drops or eggs or monster eggs or Krabby Patty packs or whatever, you're going to be getting them from sushi rolls. And these sushi rolls can be unlocked through a variety of different things. Contests, the Mega Buffet, which is basically the Mega Pig, except for it's Mega Buffet. There's going to be all sorts of different ways for you to be able to unlock the sushi. Probably some daily freebies in the reward shop and stuff like that. All sorts of different ways. It's going to be crazy. It'll be fun. I'll explain more in a future video. We have 3 new modes. One of them is like a whole new game though. Okay, let's first of all cover the 2 new modes that are going to be happening in this Wasabi special event that's going to be happening here in May. First off is the Samurai Smash. This is like a PvE VP game mode. So what that means is that you have environmental bots, samurai bots that you have to try and kill and take out in order to get points. But on top of that, you can also play against enemy players as well. There's going to be a 3v3 mode, as well as a 5v5 version of this game mode. And the goal is very simple. Score the most points. We saw these little golden like capsules being collected, and I assume that's how you collect points, probably like killing those samurai bots, and then they would drop them and then you pick them up, and that's cool. We caught both glimpses of both brawlers and bots getting destroyed, and they both dropped these capsules. We're not sure if they're kind of like gems where you have to hold them for a certain period of time or exactly how they will work, but it's going to be pretty interesting. Samurai bots are going to randomly be spawning all over the map. They're going to come in different sizes, shapes, different abilities. They're going to start attacking the nearest brawler no matter which team you're on. It seems like a pretty basic like PvE/VP mode, but I love PvE/VP. It's really, really fun, so I'm really hyped for this. And but we have another game mode coming to the game called Oni Hunt, and this is strictly a PvE game where your team of 3 players face off against a giant hypercharged Oni Kenji who has gone berserk. And while you're fighting Oni Kenji, other samurai bots will spawn on the map and they are going to be attacking you as well. It's going to be very similar to like boss fight, but Oni Kenji has new attacks and more ways to defeat you than the original boss. This looks really cool. This is pretty hype and I'm really excited for it. On the week that this mode is released, every day you're going to have a chance to beat Oni Hunt 5 different times on 5 different difficulties for rewards. And it seems like you probably want to play with teammates. I don't know how it'll work out, but I'm really hyped. We'll see in a future update video. But what I'm really excited for is Brawl Stars getting an in-game MOBA game mode. It's not just a game mode, it's like a whole other game, and I'm so excited for this. This mode's gonna have towers for you to defend. You're gonna have little bot waves, and some of them are little cute little bots that like charge forward and attack other bots. That seems pretty hype. They're gonna help you defeat enemy boss or enemy towers. There's gonna be in-game brawler leveling. If it's very similar to like other MOBAs, which it looks like it is, that will be based off of your ability to kill enemy bots and kill enemy brawlers. There's going to be a jungle full of bots and stuff for you to kill to get power-ups, and there is a kaiju that will give your entire team a buff. This is so hype. I'm so excited. Let's be a little bit more specific though, okay? The map has 2 outside lanes with 1 tower for both teams on each of them. There's a jungle in the middle of the map and a team base on each end. The first team to destroy their opponent's base is going to be the winner. It looks like it's still going to be a 3v3 mode, and the matches will be around 5 minutes long. That's still way shorter than most other popular MOBAs, but it still has all of the great mechanics that everybody loves, as well as it just being Brawl Stars. I'm so hyped. I really hope that this is loved by the community and becomes permanent because I'm so excited for it. There's going to be a lot of details to cover about this game mode, and I really they didn't cover everything in the Brawl Talk. I'm going to be covering it more in a sneak peek. I think this deserves some love. I don't always go into depth for new game modes because it's just like, you know, it's a new game. You just like play it and it's fun, right? But this seems like it has some meat to it. So I really want to get into it in a sneak peek. So make sure you subscribe and watch for that. But anyway, we got some new skins, okay? During the Katana Kingdom season, Kasa Obake Piper is going to be the Brawl Pass skin along with the Yokai and the Tsukumogami. Oh my gosh, this is unfortunate as somebody who watches a lot of anime, right? Like, anyway, a couple different skin color variations in the Brawl Pass Plus. There's also other skins that are all Japanese themes. They all look so good. I'm not going to go over all of them, but I did want to mention the Terra skin. Oh my gosh. Yes, and the Sprout skin, oh, they're so cool. I love them. I'm so hyped. But then the season starting in June is called Crush the Kaiju. There's going to be the Shin Edgar skin. That's going to be the Brawl Pass skin along with the Drift and Masked Chroma color variations from the Brawl Pass Plus. Finks is getting a mecha skin and 2 color variations as well. We also have, for you Griff lovers out there, this is the update for Griff. We've got an intergalactic Griff skin. Thank you very much, as well as some other skins. And I'm going to be going over all of the costs for bling and gems for all of these skins from both seasons in a future update sneak peek video. But we have some other skins, including lots of 29 gem recolor skins for a lot of the brawlers. There's going to be the Witch Mandy skin, which will be a Supercell ID reward that you can get, as well as Street Shade to help support the Brawl Stars esports teams and the event that's going to be going on, which is really hype. And yeah, this update is looking really awesome. Super exciting. There's also going to be a new gadget cooldown timer and icon. It looks like you can actually look in Brawl Talk. You see there's a gadget is grayed out if somebody is on cooldown. So that's going to be really helpful for knowing if enemy brawlers have a gadget available to be able to use. And that's something to be aware of as well if you are using a gadget that is particularly useful to use, like you're playing Dynamite, right? And you got that stun gadget. This update is absolutely massive. There's still so much to discuss. I am going to be doing my best to cover everything in detail in my sneak peek video, so make sure you guys subscribe for that. You do not want to miss it. If you buy any of the skins, I'd really appreciate using code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. But I right now want to know what you guys are most excited for now. So let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me on my vacation here for a little bit. It's my wife and I's anniversary. But I will be back in my office for the next update sneak peek. So we'll see you in the next video.